Hi guys, I hope you all are studying well. So I come here on behalf of JK Shah classes to discuss the revisionary test papers for strategic management. So by this time you should have finished all your studies. Now you should be focusing on revisions. Institute has released the RTPs for May 2022 attempt. So let's try to understand, let's try to see what questions they have come up with and try to answer those questions. Okay, so let's start guys, let's start. So here you can get this revisionary test papers from our institute's website, that is Board of Studies Knowledge Portal. Under that, if you go under CA Inter, Strategic Management, EIS SM, you'll get this. Okay. So since this paper will have two subjects, EIS and SM, I'll be taking care of only strategic management. So let's start guys. The first question. The first question talks about multiple choice question. In multiple choice questions, there will be two type of questions, case based MCQs or direct MCQs. So this question, question number 1 is case based MCQ. Now what do you mean by case based MCQ? One particular situation will be given to you in the question and some questions will be given to you on the basis of the information given to you in the paragraph, in the situation, and you have to pick one correct alternative out of the given alternatives. So let's try to discuss this in detail. Okay, so the first question, MCQs. Since its inception in 1910, the family business of Indian ethnic wear firm Shanti Prasad and Son, run by Mr. Mukesh Gupta and his 3 sons, has seen major transformation in supply chain, product development and management. The inheritance over generations hasn't been easy, as it is subject to family brawl. So there have been some disputes. This is talking about the history of the organization. But the company has stood strong to its core principles. So somehow they have been able to survive this pressure. So the first paragraph is talking about the history. The second paragraph. Since 2011, the major foreign brands have been eyeing the segment with world-class designers opening up their boutiques in plush areas around the country. So in the first paragraph, you might have understood that it is a family business of Indian ethnic wear. In the second paragraph, first line, foreign brands have been eyeing the segment with world-class designers opening up their boutiques in plush areas around the country. So foreign competitors are also trying to enter into this market. Now JJM, a French design house, recently branded its Indian wear with leading film personalities. So JJM, one of the competitors, has also entered into this and they have hired film celebrities. And because of this has damaged the existing supply chain, has attracted the new age buyers and has been profitable from the very beginning. So now this is the problem. In the first paragraph, they spoke about the history of the business. In the second paragraph, they discussed the issue. What is the issue? What is the problem area, pain point? Look at the third paragraph. The 3 sons, Gupta and 3 sons, right? So these 3 sons have approached you for management consultancy to help them meet the competition, if not beat it. What do you mean by this? If not beat it, at least meet the competition. They have come to you so that you give them some advice as to how to survive this competition. Even if we are not able to beat them, how are we able to survive? How can we sustain this competition? You tell us that. So they have approached you. You study the business inside out and come out with 3 options. So you have done your studies, You did your internal analysis, you did your external environmental analysis, and now you have come up with 3 options so that you can advise those 3 sons of Mr. Gupta. So, what are those 3 options? The first option is to exit the Indian market and start exporting the designs to European market. This is your first option which you have given to those sons. The first alternative, you shut down your Indian business operations and you think about exporting your products to European market. So this is the first suggestion. What will be the result for this? What will be the result? This would ensure bigger revenue and forex gains, and also distribution chains were well built there. So this will be the result. You will be able to earn bigger revenue, you will have foreign exchange gain, and moreover you already have a distribution system there. So why not take advantage of that? So this is the first suggestion and the benefits of that suggestion. Now the second one. Second option which you as a management consultant have given to the organization. To become the major manufacturer of. Now guys, I see a mistake here. Maybe it is a printing mistake. See here it is written as JMM and here it was written as JJM. So maybe it is a mistake. But it's okay. We understand that this is JJM or JMM. It is the competitor. Okay. So please try to understand that this is one at the same, JJM and JMM. So to become the major manufacturer of JMM or JJM, whatever we call it, and other big foreign brands. So this is the second alternative which you have given to the organization. What is that alternative? That you start manufacturing for those competitors and other companies. So you become the contractor for them. This is the second option. So what will be the result of this? This would ensure that they stay relevant in the market, so that at least they continue doing what they have been doing for so many years, that is manufacture ethnic wear. They stay relevant, otherwise they will be wiped out. And all the promotional money will be spent by JJM or JMM, whatever you call it, and the volumes would rope in would actually mean growth for Shanti Prasad and Sons. So all the promotional related activity will be done by the competitors, that is the contractors, the main company who has given us the contract. So JJM will spend the money for promotional purposes. This will lead to growth because they will be giving us more orders. We will be able to manufacture more. So this will also result into growth. What is the third alternative? The third alternative is to sell the designs to the global brands with patent protection. This is the third option, that you sell your designs to the foreign companies, to foreign brands, and you do this having patents so that your designs are not copied by others. This would ensure perpetual flow. So what will be the result of this? This would result into perpetual flow of revenue and new market altogether with global exposure. So these are the 3 alternatives that you as a management consultant have given to the organizations, to those 3 sons. Now, once you have given them the suggestion, your opinion, now the company needs to decide what they want to do, because ultimately it is their business. It is not your business, right? It is those 3 sons along with the owner, they will decide what is to be done. You can only give them suggestions. So you give them 3 options, now see what they have decided. The family, after considering your proposal and knowing the intricacies of business and its environment, have decided to blend the options 2 and 3. So now they have decided to go with option 2 and 3. The success or failure could only be gauged in 3 quarters. Means in coming 9 to 10 months, in coming quarters, 2 or 3 quarters, we will come to know whether we will be successful or not. But what they have decided? They have decided that we will go for option number 2 and option number 3. and when they sit down for internal post-implementation review. So whether we'll be successful, whether we'll not be successful will be known to you only after 3 quarters, that is around 9 months. Okay. So this was the question, guys. I hope you have understood the question, at least you know a little bit of question now. Now how to answer this question? I will read the question, I'll give you 10 seconds, you think, and then I will answer. Okay? Great. So based on the above scenario, answer the multiple choice question. This is called as multiple choice questions based on case based MCQs. These are called as case based MCQs. So the first question: what can be said about the attitude of the owners with regards to their strategy mindset when they reached out for consultancy? So try to understand this. If you understand the question, you will be able to answer this question. What is the mindset of the owners when they approached you for consultancy? What was their thought process? It was there somewhere in here. I will mark this for you. I will highlight this in red color pen so that you come to know. So if you remember here in the third paragraph, the 3 sons reach out to you for management consultancy to help meet the competition, if not beat it. So we don't want to defeat our competitors, we just want to do business so that we are able to stay in the competition. And staying in the competition means not doing anything new. So you tell me, is it expansion that we are planning to do? Is it stability? Is it retrenchment? Is it combination? What are we planning to do? Think for 5 seconds. We just want to stay in the competition. If we are not able to defeat them, it's okay, but at least we should be staying in the competition. We should be relevant. So what do you think is the answer, guys? Yes, if you might have understood this, this is stability oriented. So this is B. So was it difficult? I'll leave it up to you to decide. Let's discuss the other questions first. Number 2, again I'll give you 5 seconds to think about this, then you answer. If the owner went with option 2, I hope you remember what was option 2. We'll go back, no problems. Which of the following components of marketing strategy would be irrelevant for them? So if we gave them option 2 and they chose option 2, then one of the marketing components they will not do. Which are that? So if you look at option 2, the promotional spend would be taken care by JJM or JMM. So which aspect of marketing they will not be looking into? Yes, you might have guessed this right. So look at the option, guys. Is it product and promotion? Is it price and product? Is it promotion only? Is it place only? So which activity they will not look into? Only the main company will look into that activity. Yes, guys, it is promotion. So this is how you should approach case-based MCQs. Nothing to worry about. It's just that a long story will be given to you and you need to mark that. Understand that story. Third question. Option 3 if opted. So if we choose option 3 only, which would help in sustainability of which of the following and would ensure, so because of what major characteristics of sustainability? What is sustainability? Sustainability means doing business for a longer duration. We will be able to survive the competition come what may. We will be able to do well in difficult situations. So if you remember, competitive advantage, we have some characteristics of competitive advantage. If you remember that question, how can we ensure that we will have sustainable competitive advantage? Durability, transferability, imitability, appropriability. I hope you remember that question and the answer. Now try to find out which of the options. So first, before we do that, let's go to the third option. Sell the design but with patent protection. What do you mean by patent protection? It means that someone else cannot copy my designs. So if they cannot copy my designs, don't you think so I'll be able to do business for a longer duration? My designs can be used for longer period of time. Yes. So now, what are the options? Sustainability of competitive advantage by ensuring transferability, sustainability of value creation by ensuring appropriability, sustaining of value creation by restricting imitability, or D option, that is sustainability of competitive advantage by ensuring durability. So what do you think can be the answer? Think for 5 seconds. So the answer is D, sustainability of competitive advantage by ensuring durability. Fourth question, guys. For Shanti Prasad and Sons as well as JJM, globalization has been a key area of consideration. As times change, new players enter a market and the existing firms need to be careful about their survival. Which of the following statements about globalization is false? So you need to find out which of the statement is false. Read the first question. First point, A. It unifies the trade and such trade barriers become irrelevant. That is a true statement. That is not a false statement, that is a true statement. So it is not your answer here because we want the false statement. Read the second statement. It needs ability to compete in domestic market with foreign competitors. No, this is something which we will think of. Okay. C. It includes commitment to invest heavily in other countries. Naturally, if you want to set up a business in other country, you need to invest heavily in that particular country. So this is a true statement. It brings in foreign investment in form of FDI. Again, this is also a true statement. So don't you think so? B will be your answer. Yes. Fifth point, guys. Fifth question. For JMM. Now I am confused. They write here JJM and here they are writing JMM. Again, that's a mistake. No problems. So for JMM, which of the following structure would be best suited? So now they are talking about organizational structure. Chapter 7. In case all major Indian family run businesses start producing designs for them. So all Indian companies who are into manufacturing, they start designing for them, while JMM simply take care of distribution and marketing. So which of the structure will be beneficial for them? Which structure they should follow? Is it simple structure that they should follow? Is it network structure? Is it matrix structure? Is it divisional structure? Think and answer. Think, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. If you remember, one company has its head office in one country and they will take care of only few of the functional activities. Other activities will be outsourced, will be contracted out to someone else. Instead of having their own manufacturing, they will outsource this to other companies. Which structure, guys? Very good, guys. It is network structure. So this was your question number 1, guys. Case-based MCQs in which 5 to 6 paragraphs were given and 5 questions were asked. And I believe now you know how to tackle case-based MCQs. Coming to the second question. Now here also MCQs is asked, but it is not a case-based MCQ, it is a direct MCQ. So we have few questions relating to this also. So now again same approach. I will give you 5 to 10 seconds, you think and then you tell me the answer. I will mark the answer. Nom Nom is a fast food brand, has been facing a lot of competition from American brands and decided to not go very aggressive but just to preserve the market share. Which of the strategy nom is following? Is it build? Is it hold? Is it harvest? Is it divest? So now you tell me. Nom is an fast food brand and they are facing a lot of competition from the big brands, from American brands, and they have decided not to go very aggressive but to preserve the market share. So if you want to protect your market share, you want to stay where you are. So will you build, will you hold, will you harvest, will you divest? What will you do? If you want to hold on to your position, right, they want to preserve. So can I say it is hold? Yes. So the answer to the second question is B, that is hold. Now the third question, I know majority of the kids might be able to answer this. This is one of the examples which I regularly give. So the third question, a tea farm owner, a person who is having a tea farm or a coffee farm. So you are having a tea farm. Now you want to open tea cafes in tourist spots and sell it at premium to build a brand. So which of the following can be termed? So will you call this as backward integration, forward integration, diversification, or horizontal integration? What will you call this as? Think and answer, guys. I'll give you 5 seconds to think. I have a farm in which I grow tea. Now I'm planning to set up my own tea outlets. So what is this? Yes, you have guessed this right. This is vertical, but in vertical diversification also we have 2, backward, forward. So what is this? This is, yes, this is forward. Very good, guys. I hope you all have understood this. Great. Now the next question, question number 4. Again, this is one of the examples which I generally use. So you might be able to answer this. Airline companies providing special lounge access to loyal customers is a type of which marketing? So if you remember, there are 13 different marketing techniques. Social marketing, enlightened marketing, people marketing, person marketing, place marketing, augmented marketing. So we studied those 13 marketing strategies. So airline company giving lounge access to their customers who are frequent flyers. I gave you this example, frequent flyers. Customers who are regularly traveling from one place to the other using their airlines. So this is which type of marketing? You are giving them lounge access, free breakfast. This is very good, guys. This is called as relationship marketing. You are trying to maintain good relation with the customer so that they come again. This is relationship marketing. Next, Madhyam, a hearing aid manufacturer, recently introduced an AI-based management tool. AI means artificial intelligence. The full form is artificial intelligence. So Madhyam, a hearing aid manufacturer, recently introduced an AI-based management tool that has the capability of managing the teams across functions. What could be their new organizational structure post this implementation? So they are talking about the organization structure. So what will be the organizational structure after we implement this artificial intelligence based management tool? Think. We had 8 different kinds of structure, guys. 5 traditional, 3 modern. So where was this technology used? In which structure? Was it traditional? No, it was modern. Under modern we have 3: matrix structure, network structure, hourglass structure, if you remember. So where we will use IT? IT will link the top management and the lower management. Yes, very good guys. So what is the answer here? Hourglass structure. And the last of the MCQs, now the fun part will be over. The last of the MCQs. Holder and Sons have invested in latest technology. So they have invested in latest technology in terms of latest printing machines from Germany and Israel. So you have invested a lot of money in buying machines. But in recent advent of internet has posed a big threat to their printing business. So because of the changing landscape of the business, because of the internet, majority of their clients have now turned to more environment friendly options. So majority of the customers have now turned towards friendly options. They are not able to sell off their machines which are now redundant. So because their clients have now become aware of the environment, they don't want to damage their environment, they are no longer printing out the materials. So all the investment which was done by Holder and Sons in latest printing machine is waste. It is outdated. See here, they are not able to sell off their machines which are now redundant. So they want to sell off a machine, but since the technology is obsolete, outdated, nobody is actually buying that. So what condition are they facing right now? So what is the condition that they are facing right now? Is it improper market analysis? Is it exit barrier? Is it paralysis of strategic vision? Is it weak SWOT analysis? Think and answer. Focus on this sentence, guys. They are not able to sell off their machines. They want to sell off, but they are not able to. Means they want to get out of this market, but they can't. Why? Because nobody is buying their machines. So this is an example of exit barrier. I want to leave the market. I want to get out of this competition. I want to get out of this business, but I'm not allowed to because nobody is buying my machine. So this was your MCQ based questions, guys. I hope you all have understood this. So now let's try to understand the descriptive questions now. Okay. So now I will try to map this with your JKSC study mat. Okay. I will tell you the answer. What can be the tentative answer for this? We have answers here also. At the end, the institute has given us the answer also. We can refer that also. No problems. Okay. So let's start, guys. Let's start with descriptive questions. So the first descriptive question is from chapter number 1. The key to answering well is to understand the question. In earlier exams, a lot of direct question was asked. But in the past few attempts, institute has changed the way they ask questions. In the last attempt, there were 2 indirect questions. What do you mean by indirect question? Situation based questions. So don't panic. Read the question carefully and you will be able to answer. So there will be a direct question also, or there may be scenario based questions. You will be able to answer well if you have understood the question. So try to understand the question. So the first descriptive question is from chapter number 1. ABC Limited currently sells its products in 2 major markets, Europe and Asia. So I will highlight few important sentences, few important words. 2 markets we sell, Europe and Asia. While we are market leader in Europe, we have been doing well in European countries, ABC has struggled to penetrate in more competitive Asian market. So we have been doing well in Europe, but we have not been doing well in Asian market. So ABC has hired a strategic consultant to analyze the situation and submit his report. So ABC hired a consultant, and consultant will understand the situation, what is the problem, how can we overcome that. He will do strategy audit, he will get back to you. After the report received from the consultant, it was decided to pull out of Asian market entirely. What do you mean by pull out? Discontinue their business operations in Asia. Pulling out means discontinuing. So we were selling in two markets, European market, Asian markets. Our European market was doing well, we were the leaders. But somehow we were not able to replicate the performance here in Asian market. So what to do? We were not able to do well, so we hired a consultant. That consultant told us, don't do business in Asia, pull out of that market, come out of that market. Okay, and focus on European market. So what do you mean by pulling out of Asian markets? Pulling out of Asian market means you are discontinuing their business operation, you are leaving that Asian market. This decision, now the question, always remember such kind of a question, read the last two lines of the question carefully. Last two lines, okay? This decision relates to which level in ABC Limited and explain the role of managers at this level in the organization. So if I can just summarize the entire question for you, if you allow me to. You think of yourself as you are owning that business which ABC is doing, and you are doing business in two geographical locations, two continents, Asia as a continent, Europe as a continent. European business is doing well, Asian business somehow or the other they are not performing well. So you hire a consultant, and that consultant tells you the report, gives you the report. He does some strategy audit and tells you the facts. Based on that fact, you decide that we will discontinue the business operations in Asia. So now what is the question telling you? This decision of discontinuing a particular product, discontinuing in a particular business, in a particular geographical location, who has the authority of taking such decisions? Who can take such decisions? Which level of management? Number one, that is the first question. And number two, what is the role? What is the role of these managers? So I hope you all have understood the question. If I can draw your attention to this pyramid. If you remember this pyramid, guys, from chapter number 1, there are three levels of management. There are three strategic levels of management: corporate level, business level, functional level. I hope you remember this. So who will decide what businesses we should do? Who will give us the direction? Who can give us the broad framework? Is it the functional level? No. Is it the business level? No. Who will be the one? Yes, corporate level. So the answer to this question, what will be the answer to this question? The entire answer will be divided into two parts. The first part, what is the first part of the question? This decision relates to which level in ABC Limited? So this decision will be corporate level. So corporate level managers will take that decision of discontinuing a particular business or discontinuing from a particular location. And what will be the role of managers? So if you remember, they oversee the development of strategy for the entire organization. They are the ones who are responsible for the mission and objectives of the organization. They are the ones who will allocate the resources. So if I can mark the page number of our book, where you can find this. So this will be there in page chapter number 1, guys, chapter number 1, and I'll tell you the page number. Wait, give me a minute, I'll tell you the page number so that you can mark immediately. See here. The primary task of strategic manager. So this is your answer. What is the task of primary manager? So this is your answer, guys. This is on which page number of our book? This is on page number 13. The role of corporate level management. So if you want, you may write here. This question is from page number 13 of our book. I believe it was 13. Yes, it is from page number 13. So page 13 of our book. So this is your answer. You can read the text given to us in the institute's answer also. See here. Instead of writing it in point form, they have written it in paragraph form. No problems. See, corporate level strategy will relate to the market and industry that an organization chooses to operate. So which kind of a strategy? Corporate level strategy. Who will make such strategy? Corporate level management, right? And as well as other decisions that will affect the organization as a whole. So the role of corporate level managers. So what was the role here? First one, see, to oversee the development of strategy for the whole organization. Here also they have written to oversee the development of strategy. Defining mission goals of the organization. Here also we have set corporate vision mission goals. Here also then, what businesses we should be in, what businesses it should be in. Allocating the resources, allocating the resources. I hope you understood this. So the question will not be challenging. The challenge will be to understand the question and answer accordingly. So I hope the fear of case based questions is now diminishing a little, because you have understood the entire strategic management. You will be able to answer well. Okay. Now the next question. I hope you all have understood this question, guys. Any doubts here? I believe so. You have no doubts. Okay. So the next part. Discuss the challenges faced by the public sector units while designing for their organization, while designing strategies for their organization. I guess there is a word missing here. Discuss the challenges faced by the public sector units while designing what? Designing what? While designing maybe strategies for their organization. It's okay, mistakes happen. So discuss the challenges which are faced by public sector unit. Again, we are talking about chapter number 1. That is the last component in our book. What are the strategic management in non-governmental organization, in governmental organization, in hospitals, in educational institution? So if you remember the answer to this question, public sector unit means, one example is LIC, insurance company, which is partly owned by Government of India. Banks, in which government has the ownership. Telecom business, in which government has the ownership. BSNL, State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, LIC. These are the examples of public sector units. We also call them as PSUs in short form, public sector undertaking, in which government has some control, some ownership. It can be state based control, it can be central based control, or it can be combination of both. So now you tell me, what will be the answer for this? For public sector units, what are the challenges that they face? I have given you a way to answer this. Never to start your answer directly. Give them some introduction. So what will be the first sentence? Be it central government, be it state government, be it any local authority, be it any municipal agencies. They are dependent on what? They are dependent on taxpayers' money, our money, your money, my money, everybody else will contribute for the development of the nation. Yes or no? Yes. So be it state government, be it central government, be it any municipal authority, be it any local authorities, be it Indian Railways, every development will happen with the help of taxpayers' money. So it is their responsibility that they use this money effectively and efficiently. So what are the challenges that they face? The first challenge that they face is they have less freedom. They have less strategic autonomy. They cannot open diversified business. They cannot start some other business. Number 3, issues get politicized. Government has some control. Legislature and politicians have some control over them. So these are the challenges that they face. Again, this is here. You can see the answer. See the first paragraph. Central, state, municipal agencies, public sector undertaking are responsible for formulating, implementing, evaluating strategy that use what? That use taxpayers' money in the most cost effective way. So it is their responsibility that they use the money in cost effective way. So what are the challenges that they face? See here, they have corrected here. The challenges while designing the strategy. So my guess was correct. One of the words missing were strategy. So they operate with less autonomy. They cannot diversify into unrelated businesses or they cannot merge with other firms. They enjoy little freedom. Legislature and politicians control over major decisions. Fear of media debate over strategic issues. So issues are being debated over media. Chances of politicization of issues. Issues can be politicized. Even if it is good for the development of the country, some issues will be politicized for personal gains, which is not good. So how I'll map this with our answer also, guys. I'll tell you the page number in our book. So in our book, this will be, I'll tell you the page number in our book. This will be on page number 18, guys. See here. It's here. They operate with less strategic autonomy. They cannot diversify into unrelated businesses. I hope you understood. So please mark this. This is on page number 18 so that you can revise this there and then itself. Then they have little freedom in altering the mission and or goals of the organization. Legislature and politicians have direct or indirect control. Issues become politicized. So these are the problem areas. These are the challenges that they face while they frame strategy. So I hope the first chapter is clear to you, not a problem. So let's move to the second chapter, guys. What was the name of the second chapter? Chapter number 2, Dynamics of Competitive Strategy. So explain the strategic implications of each of the following types of business in corporate portfolio. Now look at this, such a simple question, guys. What is star? What is question mark? What is cash cow? What is dogs? They are asking for strategic implications. Means what sort of strategy you should frame, what sort of strategy you should formulate for this. So before you do this, because it is a revisionary test paper question, let me quickly tell you something about BCG. If you remember BCG, do you remember BCG, guys? What is the full form of BCG? Boston Consulting Group. Here, relative market share, market growth, high, low, having 2 columns, 2 rows. If I talk about this star, tell me what will be the combination of star? Market share will be high, market growth will be high. What about question mark? Market share will be low, market growth will be high. What is market share? Our share as compared to the competitors. What is market growth? The potential. The potential, whether we will be able to do business. What is the potential? Is it high potential or it is having low potential? Then this is cash cows. Market share is high but market growth is low. Then this was dogs. Market share is also low, market growth is also low, if you remember this. So the first thing that you write whenever you are talking about stars, tell them what do you mean by stars. Tell me, what do you mean by star? Looking at this diagram, what do you mean by star? A company who has a high market share and is also performing well. There is a growth, there is a potential. What about question mark? Potential is very high, but our share is low. Similarly for cash cows, market share is very high, but the potential has dropped, fallen. And for dogs, it is both low. Market share is also low, the potential is also low. Now what is the question that they are asking? Such a simple question, guys. I know you'll feel it is everything is simple for you, but no, it is simple for you also. You tell me for star what you will do, or for that matter for dogs what you will do. Tell me what you will do for dogs. If a business falls under this category, what will you do? You will divest. For a business of cash cow, what will you do? Tell me what will you do? You will harvest. For question mark, you will try to build, because you want to increase your share so that this question mark becomes your star. And for star, what you will do? You will try to hold on to your position. Yes. So this is there in our book also, in portfolio analysis. So let's try to mark this in chapter number 2. In chapter number 2 in portfolio analysis, we had something called as BCG. So I'll give you the marking. See here, page number 68 onwards. So this is on page number 68. Page 68. This 68 is the page number. So let's read this. See this diagram. I hope you remember this. Market share, market growth, high, low, high, low. This is build, this is hold, this is harvest, this is divest. Few of the question marks will become star, few of them will become dogs. I hope you remember this. Yes. So what do you mean by star? What do you mean by cash cows? What do you mean by question mark? What do you mean by dogs? And these are the strategies, guys. This was the question that they were asking. What are the strategic implications? So for build, what you will do? You will build your question mark. You will hold on to your star. You will harvest your cash cows. And you will divest your dogs. So these are the strategic implications. A pretty simple question. The next question. Explain the role of ADL matrix in assessing the competitive position of a firm. If you remember, ADL matrix is again part of portfolio analysis. It has been based on industry life cycle. The person who has given ADL matrix, the full form is Arthur Little. Arthur Little has given this matrix. It is based on what? Industry life cycle. So on the x-axis we have industry life cycle, that is embryonic growth, maturity, aging. On the y-axis we have competitive position. So they are talking about the competitive position. Give us the 5 competitive positions. If you remember, guys, we had 5 competitive positions: dominant, strong, favorable, tenable, weak. So this is what they have asked us. So just below this, just above this, I guess, we have ADL matrix also. I'll tell you the page number. Yes, just above this. See, this is the question, competitive position. So this is on which page number? Page number 62. So this is on page number 62, the role of ADL matrix in assessing the competitive position. You want, we can go through this here also, no problems. The answer is written here, guys. See, for stars, for cash cows, for question mark, for dogs. For this question, ADL matrix. ADL matrix has been derived from the name Arthur D. Little. It is based on product life cycle, industry life cycle. On the x-axis, we have industry maturity. On the y-axis, we have competitive position. So see here, dominant, strong, favorable, tenable, weak. Is it difficult? No. Provided you might have studied this, and I believe you all have studied, right? So these were the first 2 chapters, guys. I believe these 2 chapters you have no doubts in. So let's move on to the 3rd chapter. The 3rd chapter is talking about strategic management process. Now, the first question, differentiation between strategic planning and operational planning. So now first things first, what do you mean by planning? Planning means deciding in advance what to do, how to do, who will do it, when to do it. All such things is called as planning. And planning is not done for today, it is done for the future. It is done for future. So it is future oriented. So there can be two types of plans. One, strategic plan, the other, operational plan. So now you think, what is strategic plan? Strategic planning is something which you do on the basis of environmental analysis. It talks about the arrangement of resources. How are you going to arrange the resources? Whereas operational planning talks about the execution part. It talks about the utilization of resources. So strategic planning is done by the top management. Operational management is done by the lower management, the functional management. So this is your distinction between. So let's read this. I'll mark this in our book also. In our book it is given in paragraph form. No issues. We can tabulate the same. Look at this. Start from the bottom. Strategic planning is the responsibility of whom? Senior management. This is the first point. And is this something new for you? No, you know this. Who will do strategic planning? Top management. And it is the responsibility of functional managers. It is concerned with long-term success. It is concerned with immediate short-term success. Right? It develops overall objectives and strategies. We will formulate the development of strategy for the wholesome purpose, holistic. Operational planning will make modifications to the business functions but not fundamental changes. We will make immediate changes, short-term changes. We will not change our goal. That is operational planning. Here we take the holistic view, complete picture. Here we talk about only the current operations, what we need to do presently, immediate. It assesses the impact of environment variables. We will plan on the basis of environmental factors. So strategic planning will take place on the basis of environmental factors. Here it will be based on some tactics. What is to be done? Shapes the organization and its resources. Here deployment of resources. So in strategic planning we talk about how are we going to arrange the resources. In operational planning, how are we going to utilize the resources? So I will mark this in our book where it is so that you get an idea. So chapter number 3, differentiation. The first concept, strategic planning. See, it is made by the senior management and it is done after taking into consideration with the variables in the environment. So this was your first point. This can be your second point. Right? Yes. Going in the next few years. Determining the objectives of the firm. This can be your third point. And what will be the resources required to attain these objectives and formulation of policies? This will be your fourth point. And exactly opposite of this will be operational planning. What will be operational planning? It is governed by, it is made by functional level managers. It is putting into action whatever they have been formulated. So operational plans are made at middle and lower level management. They specify how the resources will be utilized. Conversion of virtual goals into actual are the prime responsibility of operational level managers. And there we decide how are we going to arrange the resources. Here we will decide how are we going to use the resources. So this is on which page number, guys? 82 and 83. So write here 82 and 83. And the next question, guys, one of the simplest questions that we can ever be asked, what are the objectives? You remember, guys, we had 10 points here. What are objectives? What are the characteristics it must possess in order to be meaningful? So again, This is the part of chapter number 3. So if you remember objectives, this is the question guys, page number 97. See here. To be meaningful to serve the intended role, it must possess the following characteristics. Who must possess the following characteristics? Objectives. So these are the points guys, 10 points. It should define the organizational relationship with the environment. You will frame objectives on the basis of the environmental factors. So during these times, do you think hotel industry, any hotel will have expansion in their objective that they want to increase their sales, that we want to maximize our revenue? No, because the environmental factor is such that we won't be able to maximize our sales. Similarly, it should facilitate towards achievement of mission and purpose. Objective should help you achieve your mission and purpose. It should be measurable and controllable. You can measure. Objectives is something which you can measure, which you can quantify. It should be providing you basis for taking long decisions. So these are your 10 points guys. It should provide standards for performance. You can compare your performances. So objectives should be such that you can compare your performances so that we come to know whether you have achieved your target or not. It should be specific. It should be time bound. It should be challenging, something which will take efforts for you to achieve. If something is not challenging, you will not be motivated to work hard. It should correlate with each other. Objectives, different objectives should correlate with each other. So for example, if you want to increase your sales, in order to increase your sales, naturally you will need to produce more. Naturally you will have to buy more of raw materials. Naturally you will have to spend more on marketing, on human resource, on raw material purchase, on machines. So it should correlate. Objectives should correlate. It should not contradict. It should correlate with each other. And last, it should be set within the boundaries of the resources. So why I want to do this? Whether do I have sufficient resources? Is it feasible for me to achieve this? So it should be set within the boundaries. So these are the 10 points guys. Here also those 10 points will be given. Let's show you. See here. First point, facilitative towards mission and purpose, should provide the basis for strategic decision, should provide standards for performance appraisal, should be understandable, should be concrete and specific, should be related to time frame, should be measurable and controllable, should be challenging, should correlate with each other, and should set within constraints. I know I am going a little fast guys, but it is something which you already know. Okay, great. Now the next question guys, next question is from chapter number 4. Now this is a question which is case based question. So again I'll be a little slow here. In question chapter number 3, 11 and 12, these two questions were direct questions. In fact here also it was a kind of a direct question, 9 and 10. But look at this question 13. I'll be slow here. Racers Limited manufactures bicycles. Until recently, it has adopted differentiation strategy, offering high quality bicycles which Racers Limited sells at a high profit margin. Okay. So what I come to know from this, that they are into manufacturing bicycles, and until recently it has adopted a differentiation. Currently they are operating under differentiation strategy. I hope you remember what is differentiation strategy. Selling unique products to customers. Naturally, if the product is unique, you will charge high price, which is premium pricing, high quality bicycles at high profit margin. In recent years, Racers Limited has entered a period of decline. Okay. So they have entered into a period of decline due to the market becoming flooded with cheaper, high quality bicycles from abroad, where labor costs are lower. So this is the problem area. They have entered into a period of decline. I hope you remember guys, in product life cycle there are 4 phases: introduction, growth, maturity, decline. So they have reached this decline phase due to market becoming flooded with cheaper high quality bicycles where the labor cost is cheap. So Racers Limited has therefore decided to adjust its strategy and they have adopted a focus approach. So now they have changed, targeting its bicycle towards professional athletes. So because of the rising competition, we felt we are not able to deliver the market. So what we decided to adjust the strategy and we will adopt focus approach, narrow market, targeting its bicycle towards professional athletes. Okay. This will allow Racers Limited to continue earning high margins, though the size of its potential market will fall. So since you are only targeting a specified segment of people, naturally your business will not be as good as it was earlier. So they will continue to earn high margins, but the size of its potential market will fall. So identify and explain the need of adopting this strategy by Racers Limited to manage the decline. Important sentence here is to manage this decline. So identify and explain the need for adopting this strategy. So why the company has gone for this strategy and what was the need for going for this strategy? What was the need? If you remember guys, in corporate level strategies, we have 4 main strategies: stability, expansion, retrenchment, combination. So naturally the company is going through the decline phase. So in decline phase we will use which strategy? We will use retrenchment strategy. Under retrenchment strategy also we have 3 subcategories: turnaround, divestment, liquidation. Did the company liquidate their business? No. What they are trying to do? They are trying to turn around. Yes. So what is the need? Explain the need for adopting this strategy. If you remember guys, we had 3 questions which had similar answers. So that is this question. So let's try to understand what is the institute's answer and then I'll tell you what should be our answer. So what has Racers Limited done? They have adopted, as I told you, they have adopted turnaround strategy. That is, they are repositioning. They are trying to reverse the process of decline. I hope you remember what was turnaround. Reversing the process of decline. So they are repositioning itself in the market in an attempt to once again gain competitive advantage. Key here is they are adopting turnaround. So turnaround is needed when the organization's performance deteriorates to the point that it needs a radical change in the direction. Is possible to restructure and culture as well. It is a highly targeted effort to return an organization to profitability and increase the positive cash flows. It is used when both there are threats and weaknesses and adversely affect the health of the organization. So the overall goal, what is the ultimate goal of this? To return an underperforming or distressed company to normalcy in terms of acceptable levels of profitability, solvency, liquidity, cash flow. Reverse the cause of distress, as I told you, reversing the process of decline. Rapid improvement in financial performance. And regain the stakeholder support and overcome the internal constraints and unfavorable industry characteristics. So what should be the answer that we will write here? So we will go to corporate level strategies. We will go right at the end and I will tell you what we will write. We will first write what is turnaround strategy. We will write what is turnaround strategy. If you remember turnaround strategy. So these were the indicators. These were the danger signals which were given to us in the question. Uncompetitive product. So this was given to us. So what we will write? We will write the action plan, the important elements of turnaround strategy, factors. So this is what we will try to do. So this is on page number 121. See here. The overall goal is to return to an underperforming distressed company to normalcy. So this is page number 122, guys. Major reasons for turnaround. So this was again in May 2020 RTP. This is again in May 22 RTP, guys. So be careful with this question. So this entire question is from there, page number 122. So let's write the page number here, page 122 of our book. 122. Great. Next question. A simple question, guys. Question number 14. Diversification endeavors can be categorized into 4 broad classifications. If you remember the type of diversification: vertical, horizontal, concentric, conglomerate. State the basis for this classification and name the 4 categories. Okay, I have just named those 4 categories. Now read the next part. How is concentric diversification different from vertical diversification? So if you remember vertical diversification, guys, supplier, manufacturer, distributor, consumer. This is called as product process chain. So what was vertical integration? Vertical integrated diversification. I will either go backward or I will go forward, but I will continue to be in the same product process chain. I will become my own distributor or I will become my own supplier, but I will not break this chain. So this was vertical. But in concentric, what happens? I will follow a process, but a product will be new. I will use the same technology, but the product will be something new. I will use the same marketing channel, but the product will be new. So are they following the same product process chain? No, they are jumping out. That is why such indication. They are jumping out of the product process chain. So in vertical, we follow this process, product process chain. Product process chain, we follow this. But in concentric, we are jumping out. We are jumping out of the process to become a new product. So they have asked us the different types of diversification and they have asked us to distinguish between vertical and concentric diversification. So the types, first the types of diversification. I'll tell you the page number. The type of diversification is, guys, here on page number 110. On page 110 we have types of diversification. Vertical. Under vertical we have forward and backward. So this is A, B. Then we have horizontal, concentric, conglomerate. And then the distinguish between. The distinguish between. The distinguish between which I just told you. So, read this. It can be vertical, horizontal, concentric, conglomerate. Now, what is concentric diversification and what is vertical integrated diversification? When the products are related, the new product is a spin-off from the existing facilities and products and processes. It means that in concentric diversification there are benefits of synergy. Concentric diversification differs from vertical integrated diversification in the nature of linkage in the new product. So process is the same but a new product is made. For example, I have a bakery business. I bake breads. Now I bake cakes. Now I bake biscuits. So this is, process is the same, but I am making new products. In vertical integrated diversification, firms opt engage that are related to the existing businesses. The firm will remain vertically within the same process. Sequence moves forward or backward in the chain and enters specific product or process steps. So I will continue to be in the same process, that is vertical. But if I jump out, it will be concentric. So with the intention of making new businesses for the firm, the new product will fall within the current process product chain, that is vertical. But in concentric diversification, there is a departure from this vertical linkage. A new product is added to the existing business. The new product is only connected in a loop-like manner at one or more points in the firm's existing process, technology or product chain. So common technology but a new product. So this was your answer, guys. Next part, next question. I hope you understood this. So this was which page number, guys? This was page number 110, I believe. So this was page number 110. Now again the next question is from chapter number 5, business level strategy. A business consultancy firm specializes in environmental management consultancy. So they are having one business, they specialize, guys, this is one important word here, specialize. So they specialize in environment management consultancy. It advises client companies on how to set up. So what do they advise? How to set up environmental management accounting systems for measuring, recording and analyzing the environmental cost. A large part of business involves performing environmental audits to check whether the companies have achieved international assurance standards. So they are focusing on one specialization. This is something that rival consultancy firms do not do. The rivals are not doing this. We have specialization in this. The firm also carries out their management consultancy projects for client. They also do some management consultancy work, but these only account for small portion. So what is the question? Identify the categories by Michael Porter which best describe the strategy of this firm. If you remember, guys, I'll draw one diagram for you if you can recollect this. If you remember this, guys, here I will write product, here I will write market, broad, narrow, standard, unique. So what will be this? Cost leadership. This will be differentiation. Narrow market will be focus. Here in focus we will have focus cost leadership. Here we will have focused differentiation. So in this question, tell me, are they really talking about broad market? No, they are talking about specialization, and that too specialization in a particular field which competitors are not doing. So can I say they are focusing on one particular segment, narrow market? This is focus strategy. But in focus also we have two components, focus cost leadership, focus differentiation. So environmental management, environmental audits, these are the operations that we are carrying on. And we also do some management consultancy work, but these only provide for small proportion. So our majority of the fees is covered through environmental management consultation. So is it something which is given by everyone? No, it is unique. We are offering something unique. So our services are unique in a narrow market. Now you tell me, if I am offering something unique in a narrow market, what sort of strategy will we follow looking at this diagram? Yes, this is focused differentiation. See, read the answer here. By concentrating mainly on the market for consultancy services in environmental management, the firm is pursuing focus strategy. By offering audit services which rival firms do not, this indicates a differentiation strategy within this chosen market niche. So the company is focusing on focused differentiation. So we are following focused differentiation strategy. So we will offer unique feature that will fulfill the demand in a narrow market. So unique services in a small market, narrow market, specialized market. So narrow markets are defined in different ways in different settings. Some firms use focused differentiation strategy to concentrate their efforts on particular sales channel, narrow market, selling over internet, target a particular demographic group, a particular population. Firms that compete based on uniqueness and target narrow market are following focused differentiation. So where will you see this in our book? You will see this in chapter number 5. I'll tell you the page number, guys. Give me a minute. You will see this on page number 144. Focus differentiation. So this is the point. So you will see this on page number 144. Page 144. The next question is a direct question, guys, and it is one of the simple questions that can ever be asked in your exams. What are the 5 competitive forces in industry as defined by Mr. Michael Porter? So if you remember, guys, Michael Porter, chapter number 5, he has given us competitive forces, in which he said whenever you want to analyze the competition, don't look at one aspect, two aspect, but 5 different aspects. So they are asking about those 5 aspects. Number 1, threat from new entrants. Number 2, bargaining power of buyers or customers, bargaining power of suppliers, rivalry among the existing competitors, and threat from substitute. So this was a pretty straightforward and a simple question, guys. Question number 16. So let's try to mark this in our book, and I will show you it there in institute's material also, guys. What is the institute's answer? So the answer here is on page number 130. In our book you will have this on page number 130. So page 130, and let's read institute's answer. 5 forces model of Michael Porter is a popular tool for systematically diagnosing the significant competitive pressure. And those are 5 forces: threat of new entrants, bargaining power of customers, bargaining power of suppliers, rivalry among current players, threat from substitute. So this was a pretty simple question, guys. I don't think so you'll have any challenges here. So now the next chapter, that is chapter number 6, functional level strategies. A direct question. Student likes such questions. You are the HR manager of a company. So now you are the HR manager of a company. What are the prominent areas where you can play a strategic role? If you remember, guys, time and again I told you that this can be asked. So this is the last question of our chapter. If you remember chapter number 6, what are the prominent areas in which a HR manager can play a strategic role? That was the question. 7 points. We have 7 points. Providing purposeful direction, building core competency, creating competitive advantage, facilitating the change, empowerment of human resources, developing good work ethic and culture. So these were the points, guys. A direct question. So first I'll tell you the page number from our book, then we will read the answer also. A very simple question, a direct question. See here. Page number 178. Page number 178. Look at this question. The prominent areas where HR manager can play a strategic role. Question. Direct question. A direct question. So how many points we had? We had 7 points. Providing purposeful direction, building core competency, creating competitive advantage, facilitation of change. Facilitation means helping in change. Workforce diversity management, empowerment of human resource, development of good work ethics and culture. So this was on page number, guys, 178. So this is on page 178. Let's read what the institute have answered. Similar, just points will be interchanged. The numbering will be interchanged. Otherwise, it will be more or less the same. See, what are the prominent areas where the HR manager can play a strategic role? What is the first point? Purposeful direction. Then building core competency. Then creating competitive advantage. Then facilitation of change. Managing the workforce diversity. Empowerment of human resource. And development of work ethics and culture. Students generally ask me, so for 5 marks, how many points to write? You write all the points which is there in your book. All 7 points needs to be written. Okay? Great. Now the next question. Next question of this chapter is pretty simple, guys. You are a manager of a firm and you have to raise funds for business project. From which sources you can raise funds for your company? So now this is a financial strategy, guys, and you all are very good in FM. I know this. You all are champion in FM. So you are a finance manager of a company and now you want to arrange money for your project. So from where you will arrange your money? Money can be arranged through 2 sources, guys. Internal sources, external sources. In internal sources, we have 2. We can use our profits, reserves, revenue, and we can also sell off some assets which are not in use. So internally, we can arrange from 2 areas. Number 1, from our profits, from our reserves. And number 2, by selling off all our assets which are no longer in use. This is internal. And external, we can use debt. We can raise money through debt by taking a loan, by issuing debentures. Or you can raise money through shares. It can be equity shares, it can be preference shares. So this was your answer, guys. A very simple answer. So this is there in our book also, but first let's read what the institute has given us as their answer. Strategies relating to sources of funds are important since they determine how resources will be available. Companies may rely on internal and external. As I told you, internal means something within the organization, external something which is outside the organization. It can be for long term as well as for short term also. So these 2 are internal. Please bear with me for my handwriting. And these 2 will be for external. Yes. So internal means net profit and sale of assets. You can arrange money internally within the organization without taking any outside help. You can use your past profits. You can sell off some assets which are no longer useful. If you want to use outside help, you may take loans or you may issue shares. But if you want to take loans, make sure you have appropriate profits available with you. Otherwise, it is a charge against your profits. It may result into insolvency. So be careful. Some assets you need to give as security. Do you have sufficient assets to give security? So all these points you need to take into consideration. A pretty simple answer, guys. Let's mark this in which chapter, which book, which page. So this is financial strategy, right? So this is right at the beginning, guys. Chapter number 6. So chapter number 6, financial strategy, just after our marketing strategy. So acquiring capital to implement strategy. So this is on page number 162. So this is your answer, guys. Debt capital and its impact, equity capital, basically the entire page 162 and partially 163. So the page number is 162, 163. Now chapter 7. We have 2 questions from chapter 7 also. A very simple chapter if you remember. So let's read question 7. Question 19 from chapter 7. So from chapter 7, question number 19. How strategic business unit structure becomes imperative in an organization with increase in number, size and diversity of divisions. So now basically they are talking about the advantages of SBU. How come strategic business unit plays an important role in an organization? If you remember guys, we had divisional structure and we had multi-divisional structure. But the problem of multi-divisional structure was that the top management was responsible for all the major decisions and all day-to-day business decisions were taken by divisional managers. So the top management, the corporate level managers were not having enough time, were not able to concentrate on each divisions. So what they did, corporate division, in between that we created something called as SBU. So corporate division, the top management is not able to focus on divisions because they have their own problems to deal with. So they came up with one particular structure in which SBU manager will be responsible for the functioning of that division or that group of division. So for strategic management purposes, we have hired one manager. That SBU manager will be responsible for their SBU. They will have their own set of competitors. It can be one business or it can be collection of different businesses. SBU manager will be responsible for planning and profits. All the strategies they will decide. So what are the advantages? So this will be there in chapter number 7, organizational structure, SBU. I'll tell you. See, this is on page number 194. SBU, majorly they are talking about the advantages. Advantages of SBU. So what are the advantages? What is the page number? 194, 195. So this is on page number 194, 195. So what are the advantages? Establishing coordination between divisions having common interest. Facilitate strategic management and control. One line answer guys. Nothing difficult. Fixes accountability at distinct levels. Allow strategic planning done at most relevant level within the organization. Makes the task of strategic review by top executives more objective and more effective. So top management can focus on their business. They can focus on complete activities. Helps allocate the resources with greatest growth opportunity. So this is something which will help us. These are the advantages of strategic business unit. So let's read what the institute have answered. So first, in the first paragraph they have spoken about what is SBU. Even we will do this. What is SBU? What are the characteristics of SBU? Then we will talk about the advantages. As I told you, it is a single business or a collection of related businesses. They will have their own set of competitors. SBU manager will be responsible for planning and profits. So this is something which you will have to write. It is a large business organization that is treated separately for strategic management process. So it is treated separately. In creating an SBU organizational structure, it's separate part of large business serving product market with readily identifiable competitors. So they'll have their own set of competitors. It is created by adding another level of management in a divisional structure. So we had our divisions, just above divisions. Earlier we had corporate, now we will have SBU. Above SBU we will have corporate. Very large organizations, particularly those running several products, operating at geographical locations, extremely diverse in terms of environmental factors, can be better managed by creating SBUs. SBU structure becomes imperative in an organization with increase in number, size and diversity. As our business organization grows in size, it is very difficult for us to control each business at corporate level. So what we do, we create SBU. The full form of SBU is Strategic Business Unit. So these are the advantages, guys. Coordination between divisions having same common interest, facilitates management and control, accountability, allows strategic management to be done at most relevant level, makes task of strategic review by the top executives more objective and more effective, helps to allocate resources to areas with better opportunity. So these were your advantages, right? Now the next question. I believe we have finished question 19. Now let's talk about question 20. A simple question, guys, a direct question. A network structure is suited to unstable environment. Elucidate this statement. Elucidate this statement means write a short note on network structure. Explain this statement. Explain. So elucidate means explain this statement. So if you remember, guys, network structure is also called as virtual structure, non-hierarchical structure, in which the organization will not be carrying out its operation activity all by themselves. Instead, they will be outsourcing majority of the activities. So what they are telling us? They are telling us to write a short note on network structure. So let's try to first mark this in our book. This is on page number 197, guys. See here, concept number 9. So this is on page number 197. A network structure is suited for unstable environment. So a network structure is a series of independent firms or business units linked together by a common system that designs, produces and markets a product or service. It is also called as non-structure. Why it is called as non-structure? Because we have virtually eliminated in-house business functions. We no longer manufacture the product by ourselves. We have given it to someone else to manufacture. Distribution will be done by some other company. So many activities are outsourced. It is often called as virtual organization because it is composed of a series of project group or collaboration linked constantly by non-hierarchical cobweb-like network. So look at this diagram. This is your main company. You have given manufacturing activity to someone else, accounting activity to someone else, customer support to someone else, distribution to someone else, supplier is someone else. So this is cobweb-like function. You are not doing all the activities by yourself. Instead, you have outsourced the activity to other companies who may be situated in different countries. So the network structure becomes most useful. This sentence is very important because this is the statement given to us in the question. So if you read this question, a network structure is suited in unstable environment. Elucidate this statement. Explain this statement. So look at this. The network structure becomes most useful when the environment of a firm is unstable. Why? Because the fashion industry keeps on changing. So if I am into manufacturing garments, today there is some other fashion. After 6 months, after 1 year, some design, some pattern change. Do I have to change the entire system of manufacturing? Instead, what I will do? I will hire contractors. I will give the responsibility of making new designer clothes to them. They will do all the manufacturing. I will only be doing one part, that is coordinating. And it is expected to remain so. Under such condition, there is usually a strong need for innovation and quick response. So instead of having salaried employees, it may contract with people for a specific project for a length of time. So instead of doing all the work by yourself, you have given long-term contracts to others. That you will be doing my manufacturing for the coming 3 years, you will be distributing for the next 5 years, you will be providing raw material to this company for 10 years. We are making long-term contracts with our contractors. Right? So rather than being located in a single building, an organization business functions are scattered at different geographical locations. So our business will be spread across multiple locations. Let's read what the institute has answered, guys. Did we write the page number? Did we write the page number, guys? Yes, we wrote the page number. It was page number 197 from our book. So network structure is a newer means modern. So it is modern and somewhat more radical organizational design. Could be termed as non-structure as it eliminates in-house business functions and outsource many of them. So we don't have in-house manufacturing activity, it is done by someone else. We don't have in-house distribution system, it is done by someone else. We don't have in-house accounting team, it is done by someone else. So we don't have any activity done by ourselves. We are just acting as a coordinating agency. An organization is organized in this manner is often called as virtual organization because it is composed of a series of projects or collaboration linked by constantly changing non-hierarchical cobweb-like network. So this network structure becomes most useful when the environment is unstable and is expected to remain so. Under such conditions, there is usually strong need for innovation and quick response. Because the environment is changing so fast, we need to act quickly so that we can also bring about the relevant products which are required in the today's time. Instead of having salaried employees, it may contract with people of specific project or length of time. Long-term contracts with suppliers, distributors replace services that the company could provide itself through vertical integration. So instead of having vertical integration done, becoming my own supplier, becoming my own distributor, I will have contracts with someone else. They will manufacture the product, they will distribute the product. I will only act as a coordinator. So the network structure provides organization with flexibility and adaptability to cope with rapid technological change and shifting pattern of international trade and competition. So this was there in our book also, guys. Read here, right? Entire thing same. So this was your chapter number 7 questions. So now last chapter of this RTP May 2022, question number 21, chapter number 8. Strategy implementation and the control is the name of the chapter. Glassware Limited is about to go through significant restructuring. So there is a significant restructuring happening. The strategic change, do you remember strategic change? Yes. Involves moving from a decentralized to a centralized structure. So earlier we were following decentralized structure. Now we want to change it to centralized structure. This will help Glassware avoid duplication of support activities and lower its cost. So this will help us in reducing our cost and duplication will be reduced. The management have held the first staff briefing in which they went to great lengths to explain that the change was necessary to equip the company to face the future competitive challenges. So in this step, they have tried to make the employees and workers realize why we want to bring about this change. So this was a scenario. Now what is the question? Identify and explain the current stage of Glassware Limited from Levin's 3-stage model of change. And if you remember Kurt Lewin change management model, do you remember Kurt Lewin's change management model? Yes, we had 3 steps: unfreezing, changing to new situation, and the third one was refreezing. So what is the question talking about? The question is telling you, rather it is asking you, out of these 3 steps, which is the phase which is going through the organization? So if you read the entire question again, and if I try to summarize this, Glassware Company Limited is about to go a significant restructuring. From decentralized system, they are now following one centralized system. So for that, they are trying to convince the employees, they are trying to talk to the workers right? So they are trying to convince. So the management have held the first staff briefing. What is staff? Employees, workers, employees, staff, in which they went to great lengths to explain the change was necessary. So they are trying to justify their reasons. So what are they trying to do? They are trying to do something called as unfreezing. Now what is unfreezing? Changing the old habits so that my employees and workers can learn something new. So that is called as unfreezing. So this is also there in our book, guys. This is on page number, I'll tell you, wait, give me a minute. Yes, strategic change. This is concept number 4. Yes. See here, Kurt Lewin model of change, unfreezing. This is the point. Page 220 is the page number if you want to refer, page 220. So unfreezing is the process of breaking down old attitudes, behavior, customs, traditions so that they can start with a clean slate. And how you can achieve this? Company is doing this. Announcement, holding meeting, promoting new ideas. Individual aware of the necessity for the change and prepare them for such change. So we are preparing them for such change. So Lewin proposes that change should not come as a surprise to the employees. Sudden and unannounced change would be socially destructive and morale lowering. So you should take them into confidence. You should make them aware. Why are we doing this? Give them proper reasoning, justify, so that they also participate. They also participate well. So this was your page number 220. So let's read the answer given by the institute. Glassware is currently in which stage? Unfreezing stage, guys. Where the management is attempting to explain the need for change in an attempt to maximize the buy-in by employees and reduce the amount of resist so that they don't resist the change. So unfreezing the situation. The entire thing which we have written, guys, is the process of breaking down old attitude, behavior, customs and traditions so that they start with the clean state. This can be achieved by making announcement, holding meetings, promoting the new ideas throughout the organization. I marked the entire thing. I highlighted the entire thing. Makes the individual aware of the necessity for change and prepare them for such a change so that they are ready for this. If there is some training to be given, we will give them training. Lewin proposes that the changes should not come as a surprise to the members. Sudden and unannounced change would be socially destructive and morale lowering. So this is something which I have already told you. So the last question, guys, last question is a very interesting question. Last question is very interesting. So let's read this question. Explain the various categories in which generic business processes of a firm requires redesigning. So now this is a practical based question, guys. 2 lines question, but practical based question. A very good question. This question is about BPR. So if you remember, guys, BPR, one example which I time and again give you is our institute itself. They have changed the entire process of registration, exam form filling, right? So this is BPR. So explain the various categories in which generic business process means general businesses processes can be changed, can be redesigned. As a business organizations, what are the functions? Which are the functions in which you would like to bring about changes? So this is a very practical based question, guys. I hope you understood the question. I am repeating the question for you. Explain the various categories, various areas in which generic business processes, general business processes, departmental processes, marketing, sales, purchases, production, customer feedback, customer review, All these business processes will require redesigning. So, a very interesting answer. The 3 business processes of a firm that require redesign may be classified into 3 broad categories. So, we have 3 broad categories here. I'll start from bottom. Process comprising of management activities. Process comprising of management activity. Process involving interface with the customer. And processes pertaining to development and delivery of product and services. So these are the 3 areas. So the first one, process pertaining to the development and delivery of product. So this may include research. Now you only think, if I want to bring about BPR, business process re-engineering, don't you think so I'll have to do some research? I'll have to redesign, I'll have to engineer, I'll have to manufacture. Apart from that, I'll have to think about logistics, purchases, procurement, material management. So this is processes relating to development and delivery of product. This is your first area of redesigning. So you will have to think about this, about your product, about your service. Number 2, interface with the customer. How are you going to deliver this product? What will be the after sale service? Customer feedback, marketing, advertising, order fulfillment service, after sale service. This is interface with the customer. How are you going to connect with the customer? Manufacturing is one part, but how are you going to communicate with the customer? How are you going to connect with the customer? And the third part, comprising of management activity. This includes strategy formulation, planning, budgeting. Management will decide about the strategy which we want to formulate. The planning, how much budget should be given. Performance measurement, how are we going to perform? How are we going to measure the performances? HR management and infrastructure. So this also will have to go through some change. In the context of these generic business processes, BPR may be viewed as a means of solving business problem through IT capabilities. So these are the 3 processes relating to the management activities, related to customer interface, and related to development and delivery of product. Guys, this was a practical based question, so it has no reference here in our book, but in BPR we have mentioned these points through IT capabilities. We have mentioned this through IT capabilities. What we try to do, we try to use efficiency, effectiveness and innovation. If you remember that point, see here, through IT initiatives, what we try to do, we try to be efficient, effective, innovation. And how we do this? Through compression of time, through overcoming the restrictions of geography, and through restructuring of relationships. So this was a practical based type of a question. In which areas you will be able to implement BPR, which are the processes. So these are the processes. I hope you understood this, guys. So with this, guys, we have covered the entire RTP revisionary test papers of May 2022. I hope you all have understood this, and you might have realized that once you have studied this entire SM, the answer to the questions are not challenging. So with this, guys, I hope you all have understood this, and on behalf of the entire team of JKSC, I wish you all the best, and I hope you score good marks in your exams. All the best, and thank you very much. Thanks a lot.